Dimitri asks, what is the value of authority in a world where everybody is a possible thought leader?
Do I repeat the question?
No, you don't have to.
Because
I think
it all
everybody
got
heard it.
picked
No,
up.
no, you can. That gets picked up. Somebody else reads it.
Semantics matter a whole bunch here. What does authority even mean? And I think the currencies of anybody who wants to make change happen right now are attention and trust. And they're in a virtuous cycle. You don't get attention unless you're trusted. You don't get trusted unless you get attention. There are other kinds of attention. You can, light yourself on fire in the street, but you don't earn trust doing that. So this attention-trust cycle goes around. The question then is, how do you get there? I don't think you get there by saying, how do I hustle a content media play to figure out how to get in front of people who never heard of me and somehow seduce them? I think you do it by being generous. I think that people tend to trust folks who step up before they have to. They trust people who keep their promises, especially when it's not convenient. They trust people who tell them the truth. And if you do those things, they're probably going to tell someone else. And then you'll get more attention and more chances to be generous. And the cycle goes and goes and goes. And guess what? It probably never ends at a moment when you say, okay, now it's my turn to take. We left the take part out mostly. You don't feel like you owe Heinz anything. You don't feel like you owe TWA anything. You just are in this environment where you know your attention is precious. You know your trust has been abused. If someone shows up and treats your attention with kindness and earns your trust every day, well then one of the byproducts will be they'll want to hear what you have to say next.
Super easy to figure out why this guy and I get along if you've been watching this show, because that just wrapped up 184 episodes in one statement.
183.
I know. I think I'm trying to play along here. I think what is super interesting about that answer and this question is that's right, and I think one of the reasons that I've had personal success is because I think about things in such a long period of time that answer spoke to me because it's my natural state. When you think about things in a 10 or 20 or 40 year kind of cycle, well then your behavior matches that. And so you're not worried about the 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, even 1 year results. And then I also think the market gets to decide. There's one thing that I very much believe.
Can I just put a little asterisk?
Please.
Because you're about to sell yourself short here.
Please.
There's a glacial strategy which says I'm a glacier, I'm going to make it all the way down the Hudson to the ocean, and it's obvious where I'm going, I'm just going to take a long time.
Yes.
I would say that the strategy you're talking about, which you have done consistently, is that at any given moment, the short-term thinker thinks you're an idiot because you are not trading. And that's the key, is that you are doing things that are so generous and so trust-earning that people look at you and say, why aren't you doing that other taking thing? And it's that feeling that the people around you think you've lost your mind. That's what makes it scary.
I'm a little bit weird, and you know this because of because my personality actually on stage and style makes people think I am in short-term game. I recognize that my vibe at times comes across as the worst version of the things that you're referring to. And so it takes people a little bit of time to completely figure me out. As a matter of fact, I would tell you one of the interesting things about how I live my life is the reason I so deeply, feel affection towards you is I was surprised myself how quickly I judge people based on how quickly they get me or not. and I always wonder if I'm never sure if I do it on purpose, if the shtick is almost weirdly on purpose, or was it always naturally? I think it's naturally there based on what happened in school long before I thought about these things. But that's right. And so I think at the end of the day, the thing that really, really matters to me is whether Seth says it, whether I say it, whether the president says it. The bottom line is the market gets to decide. When you make a book, when you write a blog post, when I feel like, at the end of the day, the market is the judge. And so when you think about who's the tastemaker, who's the authority in today's world, we clearly have mediums today. Look what's going on here right now. You thought about this. That's fine, but we're basically, it's incredible. We're doing live and production TV here. Think about this 20 years ago. You've been through the whole gamut.
Everyone owns their own media company.
It's crazy.
One thing we need to amplify here, though, there isn't one market. There are many markets.
Yes, agreed.
And so you can sell to a market that wants you to be a pickup artist, hustler, whatever, but just please understand, that's your market. Don't call me. because I'm not your market. And my argument is that most people, especially the people you want to be trusted by, don't like to be hustled.
100%.
And I wish that a whole bunch of people who call themselves growth hackers and quantum blah, blah, blah would write on the wall, most people I care about don't want to be hustled, because being hustled makes you feel bad.
Agreed.
What else you got, India?
From Bryce.
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 That's a nice name.
He's got a canyon named after him.
He does.